In the heart of the great kingdom of Zamani, King Jabari was known for his wisdom and fairness. One day, two women arrived at his court, each claiming to be the mother of a lost child. The child, a boy no older than 2, clung to the older woman, but the younger woman insisted he was hers. The villagers gathered, murmuring among themselves. They had seen King Jabari settle countless disputes, but this case was delicate. He listened patiently as both women wept and pleaded. The child had been found alone near the river, and no one knew how he got there. With a calm expression, the king pondered before speaking, his deep voice echoing across the grand hall. Truth is hidden in the hearts of those who seek justice, and only wisdom will unveil it. I shall determine the true mother today. King Jabari instructed his guards to take the child and place him in the center of the court. Each of you will take one hand of the boy, he said, and you will pull. Whoever pulls him to their side shall claim him as their own. Gasps filled the hall. The young woman immediately grasped the child's hand, determination flashing in her eyes. The older woman hesitated, but after a deep breath, took his other hand. "Pull!" commanded the king. The young woman yanked with all her strength, making the child cry out in pain. The older woman, unable to bear his cries, released his hand at once and fell to her knees, tears streaming down her cheeks. The crowd watched in silence as the boy ran into her arms seeking comfort. King Jabari raised his hand to quiet the whispers. "The true mother is revealed," he declared. The young woman's face twisted with anger. "No, he's mine. She only let go because she is weak," she protested. But the king shook his head. "A true mother does not prove her love through force. She would rather lose her child than see him suffer." The crowd murmured in agreement. The older woman held the child close, whispering soothing words. The young woman, realizing her lie had failed, dropped to her knees. "Forgive me, my king," she sobbed. "I was desperate for a child of my own. I found him near the river and thought fate had given me a son." King Jabari regarded her with both pity and disappointment. "Your pain is great, but deception does not heal wounds. You must seek redemption in truth, not theft." King Jabari turned to the older woman. "You have suffered much, yet your love remains selfless. Take your son and go in peace." Tears of gratitude filled her eyes as she bowed deeply. The child clung to her, his small fingers grasping her robes tightly. The villagers erupted into cheers, praising the king's wisdom. The young woman, though ashamed, was given another chance. The king, in his mercy, assigned her to the palace orphanage, where many children without families needed care. "A heart that desires love must learn to give it," he said. "Perhaps in helping others, you will find the child meant for you." She accepted her fate with a heavy heart, knowing she had been judged with kindness. As the mother left with her son, the people of Zamani felt a renewed faith in their king. Justice in Zamani was not about power, but about wisdom and compassion. King Jabari knew that harsh punishments did not always mend broken hearts, so he ruled with a balance of fairness and empathy. That day, he did not only return a child to his mother, he taught his people the true meaning of justice. Word of his wisdom spread beyond the kingdom, and other rulers sought his counsel in difficult matters. His court became a beacon of fairness, and his name was remembered in folk tales for generations to come. Years passed, and the young woman who had once tried to claim the child found her purpose in the orphanage. She cared for the abandoned and the lost, filling the void in her heart with kindness. One day, a sickly baby was brought to the palace orphanage, and she nursed him back to health. The love she gave was pure, and in return the child saw her as his mother. When the king learned of her devotion, he summoned her and said, "True motherhood is not only in birth, but in the heart. Today, you have proven yourself worthy." He granted her official guardianship of the child, and she wept with joy. The kingdom of Zamani flourished under King Jabari's wisdom. Parents raised their children with lessons of honesty and kindness. The story of the two mothers became a lesson told to every child that true love is selfless and justice is guided by wisdom, not force. Travelers from distant lands came to hear King Jabari's rulings, seeking his fair judgment. His court became a place of learning where disputes were settled with patience and understanding. The people cherished their king, not for his power, but for his fairness and his heart. As time passed, King Jabari grew old, but his legacy remained unshaken. On his final day, he gathered the people of Zamani and said, "A king is not remembered for his riches, but for his wisdom and justice. Let my story guide you forever." The kingdom mourned his passing, but his lessons endured. The boy he had once saved grew into a great leader, following in his footsteps. The woman who had found her redemption in the orphanage became a symbol of second chances. And so, the tale of the two mothers was never forgotten, a reminder that love, truth, and justice would always triumph.